3 times they tried to kill him. 3 times they failed. And each failure exposed secrets that would shake the intelligence world and change the course of African history forever. What you're about to hear is the classified story of how one man's survival became a turning point in continental power, and how the world's most advanced spy agencies made mistakes that cost them everything. Welcome to Voice of Africa. When a prominent African political figure narrowly escaped death 3 consecutive times within a single year, intelligence agencies worldwide began asking uncomfortable questions about who wanted him dead and why their methods kept failing. This is the untold story of Ibrahim Traoré, the young military leader who became the target of one of the most sophisticated intelligence operations ever attempted on the African continent, and how systematic failures in execution exposed one of the world's most secretive intelligence agencies. The first attempt came in March 2023, when Traoré was scheduled to attend a regional security summit in a neighboring country. Intelligence operatives had meticulously planned the operation for months, utilizing a network of local contacts and exploiting security vulnerabilities in the host nation. The plan was executed during Traoré's motorcade transit through a supposedly secure corridor. However, what the operatives didn't know was that Traoré's security team had intercepted communications about the planned operation 72 hours before it was supposed to occur. A junior member of the coordination team had used an unsecured communication channel, a critical operational security failure that alerted Traoré's counterintelligence unit. The motorcade route was changed, the vehicle configuration was modified, and backup security units were deployed to previously unidentified positions. The operation failed before it even began, and the operatives involved quietly withdrew without incident. The second attempt represented a different approach. Recognizing that direct military action had proven ineffective, the intelligence apparatus shifted tactics toward a more insidious method. They recruited a financial intermediary connected to Traoré's inner circle with promises of substantial payment and protection. The plan involved the slow administration of a substance that would induce a medical crisis, making the death appear natural and avoiding international scrutiny. For 3 weeks, the operative positioned himself within Traoré's trusted network, waiting for the right moment to execute the plan. Everything changed when Traoré's personal physician noticed unusual medication inconsistencies in his medical records. The doctor, trained to identify such anomalies, immediately reported the suspicious discrepancies to security officials. Within hours, the operative was identified and apprehended. Under interrogation, he revealed the entire structure of the operation, providing names, resources, and communications protocols that would later prove invaluable to African intelligence agencies coordinating their response. The third attempt demonstrated a return to technical sophistication combined with psychological warfare. Intelligence operatives attempted to exploit a significant security summit where Traoré would be present alongside multiple heads of state and international observers. The operation involved sophisticated surveillance equipment smuggled into the summit venue and coordination with external elements who were supposed to create a chaotic situation exploiting the confusion. Multiple layers of this plan collapsed almost simultaneously. First, metal detectors and advanced scanning equipment detected the sophisticated surveillance devices. Second, background checks on venue staff revealed suspicious individuals with inconsistent employment histories and false credentials. Third, diplomatic intelligence services participating in the summit had been briefed on potential security threats and were actively monitoring suspicious activities. The operation was dismantled before any operational phase could commence. What made these 3 consecutive failures particularly significant was not just that they had been thwarted, but that the cumulative effect of these operations being exposed created an international incident. Multiple African nations demanded explanations. The African Union convened emergency sessions. International media coverage intensified scrutiny on foreign intelligence operations on African soil. The operational security breaches were so substantial and the failures so public that questions emerged about whether something fundamental had changed in the intelligence operational landscape across the continent. The exposure created a cascading effect of consequences. Intelligence partnerships between certain nations and African countries became strained. Diplomatic channels that had previously operated in the shadows faced unprecedented oversight. Multiple operatives involved in the failed operations were identified and became targets of investigation by various African intelligence agencies. The financial networks that had funded these operations came under scrutiny from banking regulators and international financial crime units. International pressure mounted for accountability and transparency regarding foreign interference in African political affairs. Traoré's security team capitalized on this exposure by implementing comprehensive counterintelligence measures. They established communication protocols that couldn't be compromised, security procedures that prevented infiltration, and intelligence-gathering operations that actively tracked hostile activities before they could develop into operational threats. The experience transformed them from a reactive security apparatus into a proactive intelligence organization capable of detecting threats at their inception. The broader implications extended beyond one individual's security. The successful thwarting of these operations signaled a significant shift in African intelligence capability and operational security consciousness. Intelligence agencies across the continent began sharing information more effectively, creating networks that made it exponentially more difficult for external powers to operate with impunity. Regional security frameworks strengthened. Counterintelligence training improved. Institutional memories of these operations became reference points for future threat identification and prevention strategies that would define African security for decades to come.